I look like a librarian today. Ah. Anyways, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a wonderful, fantastic, fabulous Friday. In today's reality video, I'm going to be talking about Survivor and the challenge just a little bit. Like, I don't even think I'm going to talk about the challenge, to be honest. It was kind of a stupid episode. I might talk about it in another video, but I think today's video is going to be mostly Survivor because this last episode really had me upset. I know I'm not the only one. On Wednesdays I go live on TVCO and watch the episodes together, and I know in the chat a lot of people were upset as well. It was all around a basically just icky ass episode from start to finish, which really sucks because I was enjoying this season a lot. I was really loving that there was blindside galore, that people kept going home with idols, and I was enjoying this season. But this episode really kind of left a rotten taste in my mouth for so many different reasons. I'm not going to go into a play-by-play of everything that happened because I feel like if you are watching this video, you probably already saw the episode. And if you didn't, there's play-by-plays all throughout the internet. I am going to talk about everything that really made me upset, and I'm going to read a few of the apologies that people like Missy, Liz, Lauren, Tommy, they all put out. I'm not going to read Liz's because hers is like a mile long and just kind of bullshit. But they did release a apology. And yeah, so how do I even do this video? Like, I just don't know. Okay, so I guess the way I can go about this is, this video upset me for multiple reasons. One, it upset me to see Kelly genuinely feeling the way that she felt. In her interview during the episode, she started crying because she was so relieved that she wasn't crazy, that she was feeling these things and other women were feeling it too. And I understand that. I don't know what is wrong with my throat, so I might be coughing a lot, I don't know. But I understand why she would be feeling that way because there's been instances all throughout my life, I can't speak for anyone else, but through my life where I would be rubbed up against or touched or whatever, and I would be like, was that inappropriate? Or am I just crazy? Because it felt inappropriate, but someone else might not think it's inappropriate. So when she started breaking down and crying because other women understood where she was coming from, or she was under the impression that they felt the same way that she felt, that was upsetting because I get it. You know, like, it's always nice to know that someone else is feeling the same way that you are because you're not crazy. It's a genuine feeling. Like, it's upsetting to know that us as women sometimes question our sanity in these instances because of society. And it's because of the fuckers on Facebook and people like that who go, oh, you know, she should just stop whining. Oh, it's not even that offensive. He just rubbed up again. Oh, he just nudged her, and making all of these excuses for inappropriate touching. Let me make it very clear. Inappropriate touching is whenever you're touched unwanted. Like, if someone touches me, even if it's their pinky, it's inappropriate touching. I don't want you touching me if I don't know you, if I don't give you the consent. If you are not my husband, don't touch my temple. And so I don't care if it's there on the shoulder. I don't care if you're groping my breast. It's all inappropriate if I have not given you the consent. If I have not given you the go-ahead to touch my temple. So that was upsetting. And then it was upsetting seeing Missy go from, yes, I totally understand where you're coming from, Kelly. I totally get it. Like, I feel the same way, to going to Liz and telling her, look, Kelly's talking to Janet right now. We're going to get Dan out. If Janet comes up to you, you need to tell her that Dan made you very uncomfortable and touching and all of this. You need to play up having a mother-daughter kind of moment. That was upsetting. That was upsetting for a number of reasons. Mostly because it's clear that Missy is using the situation for game, which is wrong. She is basically coaching Liz to pretend to be uncomfortable. And even Liz said in her interview that she never felt uncomfortable and that she's only doing this to be on the numbers side, to be on the right end of the numbers. And that is upsetting. So Liz and Missy in that moment were done with me. It was upsetting seeing... It was upsetting seeing Dan's reaction throughout the episode, because first he had a reason to be upset in regards to Missy and Liz. They told him to his face that it's bullshit. Like, they didn't ever feel uncomfortable, that they were just going along with what Janet was saying to get her off their back, blah, blah, blah. So in that regard, I would be upset as well. But at Tribal, when Jeff was talking to him, the way that he reacted to the whole situation pissed me off. And his reaction throughout the episode pissed me off. When Kelly got voted off and she was talking to Jeff and he was basically celebrating her going, that pissed me the F off. So, you know, when he was like basically towards Kelly, like, yeah, put it in there. Like, fuck all the way off, Dan. Like, you're vile, disgusting. Like, ugh. And then what upset me also further than that, and I think that this upset me the most, like tied with Kelly's situation, was Janet's. As someone who has had similar experiences to Kelly throughout her life, and even further than that, it's really hard to find someone who automatically, especially in today's climate, automatically believes the victim or the person who is coming forward saying that they're uncomfortable. I say this because, and I say this in this climate, because you have a lot of apologists. You have a lot of people going, oh, well, do you have proof? No, how would I have proof of someone rubbing up against me inappropriately? Like, do you need video evidence? Do you want me to have witnesses? Like, I don't know how to have proof for certain experiences. And so Janet having automatically had their back, it was upsetting to see her trampled over like a piece of dirt. And it really, really upset me knowing that it upset Janet so much. It upset me knowing that Missy and Liz were basically so blasé and so they were so intentional in the way that they treated Janet. You know, Janet confronted them and was like, did you say this to me? Because this was the whole reason why I was wanting to back you guys up and get Dan out. And Liz was like, yeah, I said that. And then the second that she turns away, walks away, she goes to Dan, oh, I was just saying it to get her off of my back. I never felt that way. If I felt that way, then you would have been gone. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's one of these, so I understand that it's a game. And Aaron kept pointing that out. This is a game. This isn't real life. Yes, the hell it is real life. You guys are real people, real feelings, real situations. There's a moment where you need to separate game from reality. A moment like this is reality. I would have had so much more respect for Missy and Liz. I still wouldn't have respected them, but it would have been more respectful of them to be like, look, Janet, I'm sorry. You know, we were doing an awful thing and we were using this situation towards our advantage. I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive us. Like, we had a lapse in judgment. But instead what they did was they grinded on Janet, making her look a whole fool. And it was so frustrating to watch. Janet luckily ended up finding an idol. She ended up not needing it. Jamal, which was really sad, he ended up getting voted off. So it ended up being Kelly and Jamal going home in this episode. Jamal really, he won me over with his defending of the situation. I love that he basically shot Aaron's bullshit down. Aaron tried to be like, oh, well, if it would have been a problem, then I would have known about it. No, the fuck you wouldn't have. Like, that is, that was another upsetting moment. Aaron's attitude towards the whole situation was like, where the hell are you coming from with this attitude? Like, you would have thought with the way that Aaron was acting that he was the one that was being accused of this whole thing. And it's like, dude, you're the most bystander I've ever seen in my life. Like, you're just sprinkled there. Why are you even having such a forceful opinion on the situation? And then, after watching it again last night, what kind of upset me was Elaine's reaction towards the whole situation. She kept saying to Dan, oh, this whole situation has been fabricated or been exaggerated or whatever. And it's like, whoa, Elaine, you shouldn't have opinion on it either because you don't know Kelly's situation. And this was after Kelly had just gotten voted off, so she couldn't even talk to Kelly about it. And so there was a lot of those moments in the second half of the episode where it's like, why are you speaking? Why are you speaking? Why are you talking like you know what's going on? Why are you talking about like you know the whole situation? You don't. And so there was a lot of upsettingness in this episode. Let me read you guys Missy's. Well, I guess I'll read you Lauren's first because I have hers right here actually. So, Lauren's apology pissed me off because it's a lot of, this wasn't my experience, blah, 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 and she infuriated me throughout the episode. She said, I want to deeply apologize to all women, more specifically Kelly and Janet. While I had my own experiences and feelings towards Dan, I spoke with him and it stopped. While ignorance is... She says, I spoke with him and it stopped. So let's keep that in mind. I just realized that she said that. While ignorance is not an excuse, after the merge, I did not know the full extent of Kelly's feelings regarding Dan. In no way did I use her feelings towards him to further my own game. I am a firm believer of women supporting women, and had I have known, I would have acted differently, been more supportive of Kelly, and would have conducted myself in a way that better represents who I am. All women should be as brave as Kelly and stand up for themselves when put in similar situations. I am sorry I didn't voice this opinion on last night's episode. So she says, and had I have known, I would have acted differently. But you did know. They had a whole meeting. And this is a common theme in these apologies, is they continuously say, oh, I didn't have all the information. Oh, had I known. First off, you guys had a meeting where production talked to you about inappropriate touching. They even warned Dan separately, which is why I was a little confused by his attitude towards the whole situation. Obviously, if production is warning you, Dan, then it's a serious issue and you need to be serious about it, not have attitude and get defensive like that toward, But Lauren saying, I spoke with him and it stopped. So Lauren, what that tells me is that you had a similar situation with Dan of inappropriate touching. You told him to stop and it stopped. So how are you going to doubt Kelly in the episode or whatever? You know what? You know, it's just some bullshit. And then Missy, her fucking apology pissed me off too. It said, I would like to thank Kelly and Janet for being so courageous and leading by example. I became so caught up in gameplay that I did not realize a very serious situation, nor did I handle it with the care that it deserved. Due to the nature of Survivor, I was viewing the game through a small lens with a limited scope. I did not have all the information on the subject and I made a game move that was unjust. To Kelly and Janet, I truly apologize for my actions. To all women, I genuinely apologize for my actions. This is a life-changing learning moment for me. Sexual assault is never to be taken lightly, and I'd like to apologize to any viewers that have been victimized. I do not take this issue lightly. I have done a lot of reflecting since the game and understand and accept the consequences in my lapse in judgment. I'm sorry. I think that's bullshit too. And I'm not going to read Liz's, I'm not going to read Tommy's because it's similar to these two that I just read. A lot of, I didn't have all the information, I didn't know this, I didn't know that, making excuses. And it's just bullshit. You did have the information. Kelly told you, Missy. You and Kelly had a 2-hour conversation about this. She told you how she was feeling. You had the information. You had her side. And then you eventually had Dan's side, and you still trampled on it. You still gave Janet shit. Like, you still made Janet feel like crap. Janet started crying in the tribal. It's ridiculous. Aaron released a video apology. I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I don't have much more time. But Aaron released a video apology that I felt was actually the most genuine apology. It could be because it was video and the others were written. I just feel like written shit just is so scripted. But Aaron's was, in my opinion, the most genuine, and I did appreciate his apology the most. He didn't make any excuses. He didn't say that he didn't have all the information. It was pretty cut and dry. Look, I'm sorry. This was not in my character. I acted stupid. I made a dumb mistake, and I really am so sorry. And I appreciated that. Dan has locked all of his social media, hasn't released any statements, so he's obviously being a bitch. And then it's really funny, well, not funny, but it's interesting seeing how different Facebook fans are with Twitter fans. Twitter fans are obviously pro Kelly, they're this and that. Facebook fans seem to be more focused on the fact that Missy and Liz made a stupid bullshit mistake, as opposed to being mad at Dan for making Kelly feel the way that she did. Also, even making Nora feel uncomfortable. Like, how are you going to show an example of inappropriate touching, what you wouldn't do, while doing it to Nora at the tribal? That was mind-blowing as well. But the whole episode was really upsetting to me as someone who has had similar experiences. I know it was upsetting to Jolene and to Sarah and to a bunch of other viewers. And I had a really great live with Jolene last night. We talked about it, and it was just really therapeutic to talk to someone else who understands why it was so upsetting. So men, other women who might not get it, please just try to understand where we're coming from. Just because you might not have had any similar experiences, a lot of women do and have and are having. And just because there's that 2% of women who lie does not negate the thousands or millions of women who has stories similar to Kelly's. So don't just focus on the fact that Missy and Liz and assume that all victims are lying. Focus on the fact that there are more actual real victims as there are opposed to liars. And just keep that in mind. Let's focus on the fact that Dan had a nothing but attitude, wasn't really genuinely apologizing, and kept trying to turn things onto Janet and onto others. So that's how I felt about the whole episode. It pissed me off. I know it pissed all of you guys off. And I'm just left really uncomfortable, especially now that Kelly and Jamal are gone. Those are two that I love. So now I'm only really rooting for Nora, Krishma, and Janet. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about the episode. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys so much. Bye!